when keeping it real goes wrong.
Congratulations to him. He deserves it. I get it. But this ain't about him, what I'm about to say. Ladies and gentlemen, there's no way around this. This is white privilege. This does not happen for a black man. No experience whatsoever on any level as a coach, and you get the Brooklyn Nets job?
Stephen A. Smith. Stephen A. Stevie boy. Everybody here knows that Stephen A. Smith is the talking head of ESPN. Stephen A. Smith is the highest paid employee for ESPN. And he is the highest paid employee because of bold and a lot of times outlandish statements that he makes on commentary for different headlines in sports. But this foolish little man, what he did today was beyond any of the most ridiculous things I have actually listened to this man spew out of his mouth. Today, Stephen A. Smith decided that he was going to take a moment to virtue signal to the world in protest of the hiring of Steve Nash, one of the greatest players in NBA history. Steve Nash is one of the smartest, one of the most genuinely liked players in the NBA across the board, and this guy has to take a tongue lashing about his hiring from a guy who has probably done very little of his own actual playing of the round ball. This guy, Stephen A. Smith, decides that he is going to virtue signal. Talk about the fact that it's white privilege that Steve Nash got hired to be the Brooklyn Nets head coach.
But the frustration, the protest, and all of these things that you've seen in the streets throughout America, emanating from the black community and disenfranchised communities, is that proverbial glass ceiling. And the fact that it breeds a level of frustration that we can't even put into words sometimes. You just want to scream to the high heavens. How the hell does this always happen for somebody else other than us?
Stephen A. Smith doesn't know what the hell he's talking about. Stephen A. Smith lays it out in that it's once again brothers being passed over who have equal or better qualifications for a job to the white athlete who has no experience. Granted, I'll give him that. Steve Nash doesn't have experience as a coach. But what for 1 second would make you think that Steve Nash doesn't have the ability to be a good coach? The guy has run and operated entire teams' offenses for decades in the NBA at the highest of levels with multiple MVP awards. When he gets up and talks about other African-American coaches being passed up for Steve Nash, as if people who were in charge of the decision-making in Brooklyn decided, no, we're going to skip over these guys because they're black. We're more comfortable with picking Steve Nash because he's white. I mean, first off, Steve Nash is Canadian. We're in America. You know how us Americans deal with Canadians. But, all jokes aside, Steve Nash has one of the highest IQs in basketball. The guy's played the game at such a high level. And if Stephen A. Smith really knew what he was talking about, then he would have probably remembered that the Brooklyn Nets, in their entire time as the Brooklyn Nets, formerly the New Jersey Nets, these guys have had 8 head coaches. Let's take a look at those coaches that they've had. Of their 8 head coaches, 62% of those coaches have been African American. Avery Johnson, Jason Kidd, Lionel Hollins, Tony Brown, and Jack Vaughn. Now, if you want to count Jack Vaughn, the guy's only got 10 games under his belt. Not much of a portfolio to present as a head coach, but he technically has been a head coach for the Brooklyn Nets. So if you're looking at this situation from the outside with all these things being known, how can you sit there and say that they have passed up on African-American coaches in favor of a white coach in Steve Nash because he's white? The Brooklyn Nets have had multiple coaches over their entire time as the Nets who have been experienced, who have had multiple coaching positions before they came in as the head coach for the Nets, and they've had mixed results. Some of them have done well for a few seasons. Some of them have done absolutely horrid. But the fact of the matter is, this kind of pick, to anybody really looking at it from the outside, is a really good hire. The Brooklyn Nets are probably looking to create some kind of fresh atmosphere at that franchise. They've had all of these guys who have all these resumes come in, underperform. Now they want to have a fresh look. You got Kyrie Irving there. You got Kevin Durant there. These guys both are in favor of this pick as their head coach. And a lot of that speaks to how the NBA operates in today's age. These players are more attuned to work well with coaches who have either played in the sport or have a keen understanding of how to communicate with their players on a similar level. And Stephen A. Smith, I'm sorry to say it, but you're just dead wrong on this one, bro. You're dead wrong on this one. I can't see why anybody who's really thinking about it from a basketball perspective would say that this is something that really is a disservice to the African-American coaches in the NBA, because they have had plenty of work in the NBA, whether it be at head coach or whether it be at GM. But let me know what you guys think. We have Stephen A. Smith here once again, and I know, guys know me and know that, I try to keep things as balanced as I can. Yes, Steve Nash doesn't have experience as a coach, but this is a pick that kind of steps outside of that traditional coaching mold that you're going to find right now in the NBA. And I actually like it. I think it's a really good pick. But let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Where do you think... Let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Hit the like button if you like this button, and subscribe to Uche Nwaneri, the Observant Lineman. Appreciate you guys for checking out this video, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.